let us explore the realm of technology.
Okay, let's cut through all the noise for a second. Forget the hype, forget the buzzwords. We're going to talk about Web3, but probably not in the way you're used to. We're going to start with a really old, really human problem: broken promises. And then we'll see how this new wave of technology is trying to build a world of unbreakable ones. So let's just dive right in.
Think about it. So much of our society, it just runs on promises, right? We trust banks with our money. We trust companies with our data. We trust governments to make the rules. But what happens when that trust just completely shatters? This quote from our source material, it really hits home. It's this reminder that throughout history, the very systems we're told to trust have often been the ones to let us down. Let me show you what I mean.
Remember this whole mess? We're talking shady deals cut behind closed doors, people lying about incredibly complex financial products, and the result? It brought the entire global economy to its knees. It was just a massive, catastrophic failure of trust on a global scale.
Or, hey, how about something a little more recent? You have a company, its whole brand is about giving regular people fair access to the markets. And then one day, they just turn around and say, nope, sorry, you can't trade that anymore. Just like that, the rules were changed in the middle of the game by one central group.
And you know, it's not just about high finance. It happens with stuff as simple as a lottery game. In the McDonald's Monopoly game, a single insider was able to rig the whole thing. Why? Because the system was totally opaque. It was controlled from the inside. The common thread here, in all these stories, is that central point of failure: a person or an organization with the power to just break the promise.
So, if we can't always trust people or institutions, what's the alternative? Well, this is the core idea behind Web3. It's about shifting our trust away from humans, who can be fallible, to mathematics, which is verifiable. Instead of just hoping a company's reputation holds up, we can actually build systems where the rules are written in code and enforced automatically. They become, quite literally, unbreakable.
And the way this is possible is through something called a smart contract. It's a really powerful concept. Just imagine a regular contract that executes itself. So instead of a legal document that needs lawyers to argue about it, it's a piece of code that lives on a network. It just runs, automatically enforcing the deal when the conditions are met. No middleman, no interpretation, no ifs, ands, or buts.
And this, right here, this is a fundamental shift. We're moving from a trust model that's based on a brand's reputation, hoping they do the right thing, to one that's based on math. You don't have to trust a person or a company. You can actually look at the code yourself and verify exactly what's going to happen. And once it's set, the agreement is immutable. It's locked in. It can't be changed.
So what gives these smart contracts all their power? Well, they live on something called a blockchain. The easiest way to think about it is like a special kind of digital ledger, but one that's shared and copied across thousands of computers all over the world. And here's the magic trick. Once a piece of information, a transaction, gets added, it's cryptographically sealed to the one before it. It forms a chain that by its very nature cannot be altered.
Okay, but this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How does a shared spreadsheet basically stop someone from cheating? How does it prevent another McDonald's lottery situation?
The security is baked into the structure of the chain itself. Because each block is mathematically linked to the one before it, if you try to go back and change just one tiny detail, you'd break that link, the chain would snap, and every single block that came after it would instantly become invalid. To pull off a heist, a hacker would have to overpower and rewrite the history on thousands of computers, all at the same time. It's computationally impossible. The ledger is basically tamper-proof.
All right, so we get the what and the why. Now let's talk about the how. If you wanted to be a builder in this new digital world, what kind of tools would you actually have in your toolkit?
At its core, the process is actually pretty straightforward. You can break it down into 3 main steps. First, you just write the logic, the rules of your agreement, in code. Then, you build it and you test it over and over in a safe environment. And finally, once you are absolutely sure it works perfectly, you deploy it onto the live blockchain. And from that moment on, it can run forever.
So to actually do all this, developers use a pretty specific toolkit. You've got programming languages like Solidity that are custom-built for writing these rules. You have development environments like Hardhat that help you build and test everything. And you have these amazing things called testnets, which are basically safe, simulated blockchains where you can experiment without any real money on the line.
Okay, this is where it gets really, really cool.
We've talked about all the technology, all the theory, but what is it actually being used for right now? What does this world of unbreakable agreements even look like in practice? Let's just start with this number, $200 billion. When our source material was put together, that was the amount of value being managed by what's called decentralized finance, or DeFi protocols. That is a massive, parallel financial system running entirely on smart contracts, with not a single bank anywhere in sight. And honestly, that's just scratching the surface.
We are literally watching the birth of totally new kinds of systems. You've got DeFi, which is finance without the banks. You have DAOs, which are entire organizations run by code and community voting instead of a CEO. And you have NFTs, which for the first time ever give us true, provable, and verifiable ownership of things in the digital world.
So if there is just one thing you take away from all this, let it be this right here. This technology represents a fundamental change in how we agree on things and how we establish trust. We are moving from a world where we have to trust institutions and brands and their promises, to a world where we can just verify things for ourselves using math and code.
So we've gone on this whole journey, right? From the age-old problem of broken promises, all the way to this new frontier of unbreakable code. We've seen the tools, we've seen the incredible potential. This isn't just about technology, it's about completely rethinking how we can collaborate and how we can trust each other. The foundation is being laid right now. The only question left is, what are we going to build on top of it?
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends.